Welcome back to NT Coins World, where we dive into the fascinating world of numismatics, exploring valuable coins, rare finds, and the rich history behind them. In today's episode, we're going to take a close look at two incredible state quarter dollars that could be worth much more than their face value if you know what to look for. So grab your magnifying glass because we'll be delving into the 2003 P Alabama State Quarter and the 2006 P Nebraska State Quarter, both in fine condition. We'll cover everything from the mintage numbers to rare varieties, potential errors, and even what these coins could fetch on the open market. Let's begin. Our first coin of today's discussion is the 2003 P Alabama State Quarter. If you're not familiar with the US Mint's State Quarter program, this coin was part of a series released from 1999 to 2008, celebrating the unique history and heritage of each of the 50 states. The Alabama Quarter was released in 2003 and holds significant value, particularly when you look beyond just the mintage numbers. This coin, which features an image of Helen Keller, is one of the standout designs in the series. The obverse features the standard depiction of George Washington, but the reverse is where things get interesting. It shows a portrait of Helen Keller, along with a depiction of the Alabama state outline. She is famously known for her contributions to education for the deaf and blind, making this quarter a symbol of the state's rich history in overcoming adversity. When it comes to mintage numbers, the 2003 P Alabama Quarter was produced in relatively high numbers. The US Mint struck over 1.3 billion Alabama quarters, with most of them being produced in the Philadelphia Mint. While the high mintage numbers don't automatically scream rare or valuable, it's important to note that this quarter can still fetch significant sums in certain conditions and varieties. Now, what makes this coin valuable? There are a few aspects we need to explore in detail. First, the condition. You mentioned that the coin is in fine condition. This means that it shows signs of wear, but it retains much of its original design. Fine condition coins generally have some light wear on the surfaces, but the details on the coin are still legible. When it comes to grading, fine condition typically falls between F12 to F15 on the Sheldon scale. While not a pristine specimen, the 2003 P Alabama Quarter in fine condition can still command a premium price depending on its market. However, if you're lucky enough to find an example in uncirculated condition or one with a particularly high level of detail, the value increases exponentially. Uncirculated coins, often classified as MS60 or higher, have been kept in mint condition and show little to no signs of wear. Some of these uncirculated Alabama quarters have been known to fetch prices upwards of $10 to $15 each, but keep in mind that collectors and dealers are more willing to pay top dollar for coins that meet strict grading standards. Now let's talk about errors and varieties. Error coins in the State Quarter series can add immense value, and the Alabama Quarter is no exception. For example, some quarters were produced with a double die reverse, or a misaligned die, causing certain details to appear doubled. These types of errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors. An example of a double die reverse in near-perfect condition can see values skyrocketing to $50 to $70, or even more, depending on the severity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. Additionally, there are variations in the mint mark, placement, and die alignment. Though these aren't as common as the error coins mentioned earlier, a subtle misalignment of the design can sometimes result in unique specimens that intrigue collectors, potentially increasing the value by hundreds of dollars. Historical context also adds to the coin's intrigue. The Helen Keller design wasn't without controversy, and some collectors even argue it's one of the most meaningful tributes in the entire State Quarter program. As Alabama's symbol of resilience and triumph over adversity, the coin celebrates not only the state's heritage, but also Helen Keller's place in American history. The deep connection to such an iconic figure only adds to its collectible value, especially for those who appreciate the story behind the coin. So, while the 2003 P Alabama State Quarter in fine condition may not break the bank in its basic form, if you find one with a rare error or in near-perfect condition, you could be holding on to something worth much more than face value. Now that we've examined the 2003 P Alabama State Quarter, let's turn our attention to another captivating coin in the State Quarter series. The second coin moving forward, we have the 2006 P Nebraska State Quarter. This coin also has its own unique features that make it a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. So let's dive into it. Next up is the 2006 P Nebraska State Quarter, which was released as part of the same State Quarter program, but this time with a unique design to represent Nebraska's agricultural heritage. The reverse side of the coin showcases an image of a plow and a stalk of wheat, symbols of the state's long history in farming and its importance to America's agricultural industry. Above the image is the inscription Nebraska, and below the year of statehood, 1867. In this case, the coin's symbolism doesn't just represent Nebraska's agricultural contributions, but also its natural resources that have sustained the nation for generations. Just like the Alabama Quarter, the mintage numbers for the 2006 P Nebraska State Quarter are important to consider when looking at its value. Over 1 billion of these quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which again means that the coin was produced in large quantities. However, mintage alone doesn't tell the whole story when it comes to the value of a coin. While the coin may not be considered rare on its own, it's essential to remember that error coins and high-grade specimens can significantly increase its market value. In terms of condition, the fine coin you mentioned is similar to the Alabama Quarter in that it shows signs of wear, but the key elements of the design are still clearly visible. For this particular quarter, coins in fine condition are typically worth about $1 to $3 in circulation value. However, much like the Alabama coin, an uncirculated example could be worth much more, potentially bringing in $8 to $12 for a high-grade specimen. In higher grades, such as MS65 or MS66, the price may rise to $15 to $25 depending on its eye appeal and surface quality. One of the most notable errors associated with the 2006 P Nebraska Quarter involves the extra wheat variety. Some quarters from the Philadelphia Mint feature a noticeable extra wheat stalk near the plow on the reverse. This error is highly collectible and could potentially increase the value of the coin to between $30 and $50 if the error is prominent and the coin is in excellent condition. Error hunters and collectors are particularly keen on this type of issue, making it a favorite among those who specialize in rare and misprinted coins. Varieties of the Nebraska Quarter also play a crucial role in its value. While most of the coins produced were standard issues, there are a few subtle die varieties that collectors actively search for. These include different levels of die wear, reverse alignment errors, and slight variations in the mint mark placement. Although these varieties aren't as striking as more dramatic errors like the extra wheat stalk, they can still add a nice premium to the value of the coin, particularly if the variety is well documented and in demand. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the historical significance of this coin. Nebraska, known as the Cornhusker State, is a powerhouse in agricultural production, particularly in wheat, corn, and cattle farming. By featuring a plow and wheat on the reverse, the coin pays homage to the state's integral role in America's agrarian economy. The design is not just symbolic of Nebraska's heritage, but also reflects the pride that Nebraskans have in their land and its importance to the entire nation. In conclusion, the 2006 P Nebraska State Quarter, while not extremely rare on its own, can still carry considerable value, especially in uncirculated condition or with notable errors. For a fine condition coin, it may not be worth much beyond face value, but collectors should keep an eye out for the rare varieties and minting errors that can turn an ordinary coin into a hidden gem. So there you have it, 2 state quarters that could be worth much more than you might expect. The 2003 P Alabama State Quarter, while not rare in general circulation, holds potential for those who find rare errors or high-quality uncirculated versions. The 2006 P Nebraska State Quarter is similar in that its value can skyrocket depending on the coin's condition and whether it features any of the sought-after error varieties, like the extra wheat stalk. Remember, the world of coin collecting is as much about knowledge as it is about finding rare specimens. Always keep an eye out for those subtle differences, as they can be the key to unlocking a coin's true value. Thanks for tuning in to NT Coins World. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Alabama and Nebraska quarters, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more coin collecting tips and insights. Until next time, happy hunting and keep those coins safe.